we are back. So, last we left off, the Fellowship has found themselves in a mist-covered land. Apparently an island. Could be named Albion. Who knows? I don't. Regardless, though, you are in the company of Master Teclis, a high elf of some repute, and you have found yourself in his quote-unquote protection / imprisonment? Capture, perhaps? Who knows? You haven't tried to leave yet. But you are being used to lead the way to Walter Cole, the witch hunter that imprisoned you previously and who stole your book and who is more than likely up to no good somewhere here in Albion. Your tracker, Seamus, led you into a swamp, following this group of rivals that you are so pursuing. You came across what looked like perhaps a battle, what you now know to be perhaps a feeding ground, as corpses were mutilated, bludgeoned, and torn in several different places. And all of you were set upon by massive, writhing tentacles that burst forth from the water and the ground nearby, Teclis beginning to shield himself. Luckily, all of you are given fair warning by Marius and Seamus by their previous tests that they performed. So, I am going to need all of you to roll me initiative. Start with Marius.
Marius rolled an 11.
11 for Marius. Seamus.
10.
Okay. And Bragadine.
14.
All right. So, because you failed your original perception test to see these creatures, they get a surprise round.
God damn it.
And then we will pick up initiative afterwards.
Do we get momentum in the surprise round?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Well, do we if we, dodge or
Oh, sure. Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, I will say this. It hasn't come up because you guys haven't been surprised too often. Technically, no. This will work like this. It's going to work like this. You can use a resolve point to remove the surprised condition from you if you guys want to negate their first round.
Deal.
Okay. So bracketing.
Resolve? Hell yeah.
You can spend a resolve point, and you guys will be just slotted into initiative order right now. Seamus, you want to?
No, I'm gonna hold on to mine.
Okay. And well, then Marius, would you like to?
I want the
yes.
auto crit.
Okay.
Yes, right. I. This is a resolve, not resilience, right?
Resolve.
Yeah.
Resolve.
Resolve? Yeah, I'm using that resolve.
All right.
You auto crit with resilience, Seamus. Just saying.
Oh, I thought it was all that auto crits.
No,
resilience.
Resolve removes the condition for a round.
Yeah.
But then I'll use mine.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we will negate the surprise round that they were going to get, and they will move as normal. So with that happening, Teclis is not as prepared as the rest of you as he's beginning to enchant and cast. But everyone else is surprised except for you three. You get to move in your initiative order, and hopefully we get a silenced mic soon. Let's see here. First up will be Bragadine. You will actually be first in initiative order. You get to go before the creatures.
All right. So the tentacles have just burst out of the water, but we don't really see anything aside from that yet.
You don't see a root. Now you have tentacles to your right and your left, and as they are writhing in the air, Bragadine, you can see that they are kind of using the trees to pull something forward, and these tentacles look to be between 20 and 30 feet long. They are as large as the very trees that they are wrapping themselves around and pulling. You have a set to your right. You have sets to your left. Who knows about behind you what is happening, but you do hear screams and calls.
How close? Which set is closest to me?
So they're both going to be about the same distance. I picture you as being kind of closer to the right, so perhaps they might be slightly closer to the ones on the right.
Okay.
The mass shapes, and I will say that particular one looks like it is coming towards your party, specifically towards like you and Teclis and Marius and the sisters. The one on the left appears to be moving towards Seamus and the other scouts.
I'm going to shout, just kind of out in the air. Sisters, run, seek cover. And I'm going to rush forward and do a nice big hack on this if I can.
Okay, yeah, I will say
within
you
range,
can
yeah.
easily get it because these things were close as hell. They're extremely stealthy. So they're within just like 30, 40 feet of you. So you kind of rush ahead. Now, I'll say this, you're in a bog. It's difficult terrain. So you can move at half speed unless you would like to make me an athletics test to try to move your full speed. If you fail your test,
There'll be consequences.
there will be consequences. So it's your choice if you'd want to.
I'm going to move half speed,
Okay.
and then my free action again will be really just to focus on the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Get towards the center of the group.
And I'll give you this, Bragadine, as you get this the 20 feet kind of towards it. One of the tentacles is going to move down close to you, wrapping around a nearby tree. So if you would like to make an attack, you can.
Oh yeah. Oh man! I rolled a 1.
Okay.
I rolled my wife. Yep.
All right then. Let's see how this is going to work because this is going to be strange. Roll me D100.
Okay.
It can only hit the
23.
arm. 23. So let's see here. 23 on the arm. Oh. That's actually not that bad. You should have rolled higher. Unfortunately. How much damage is that from you, first off?
Let me see. So it's a 6 plus 5, 11 plus another 4, 15. 15.
15 Bragadine. I will say this negates the toughness bonus that it has, just because it's a critical wound. And this thing doesn't have armor. So you slice into the tentacle and you cut in deep with your sword. And as you do, this kind of brackish red blood kind of just spills out into the muck and across you, and the tentacle flinches away and gets pulled back towards where you're assuming some kind of main body is. But the creature is still very much still moving and maybe possibly focused on you now since you heard it.
Yep.
And that is the end of your turn. Which will bring us to Marius Wolf. It is now your turn.
I guess You said this colossal thing is heading towards us.
The one on the right is now moving. You can tell. You saw Bragadine kind of move out towards it. That one is moving in your direction. The one to your left, Marius, which you might be slightly more closer to, appears to be moving towards Seamus and the scouts.
Okay. I will probably move up into a direction that will put me between the sisters and the bog octopus as much as possible. I mean, I know it's probably like has many avenues of attack, but as much as Marius would,
but you kind of move forward.
Yeah, as much as Marius would
Yeah.
think he could do, you know.
All right. As you kind of rush forward now, do you want to make me an athletics test to actually make it to where you think the main body might be?
Is the water?
It's
deep
submerged.
enough,
You can't see it. You just see the tentacles kind of wrapping out and kind of pulling.
Would I be swimming at that point if I did?
You would not be swimming.
What would happen?
As far as you know.
Okay. Well, then I'll give it a try. I'm gonna use
fail
athletics.
Please fail this test.
Oh shit, bro! I rolled a 55 out of 66.
Oh, okay. So you are able, as you kind of move forward, and you're passing as Bragadine slices into the tentacle. You're kind of rushing past him with your pick in hand, and you kind of follow the tentacle as it kind of slithers back towards where the main body is.
Specimen.
And yes, indeed, as you kind of just sludge forward past him, the beads of water kind of glistening off your skin and your man body.
Captain America running,
Captain America style,
I'm booking it. I'm booking it.
Yeah, booking it. And you make it to where you think the main body is, and in fact, you realize it is the main body as you get close enough, and the thing pulls itself out of the muck, and it is colossal. It's huge as it pulls itself out. It's so big that you don't know how long it is. It is a massive, and you've heard of tales of like an octopus, of sea creatures, a kraken, something that is a giant sea monster, but you've never heard of something that lives on land that is this big and this hideous. There is a gigantic, what looks like some kind of strange underneath as the tentacles kind of rise up, and there's some kind of god-awful mouth in the underneath it that kind of opens up as you get close, and you do see two large yellow eyes on the sides of this big head kind of looking down towards you. And you can make me an attack, Marius.
Okay.
It will try to dodge. I doubt it's capable.
Okay. I rolled a 70 out of 73.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Now, why don't we just roll a bunch of crits, right? During the
sorry.
first round. It's fine.
We already started, bro. We already started, man.
It's fine.
Sorry, bro.
So go ahead and roll me D100.
All right, bro. 12.
All right.
This is payback for the ballista.
The cuts, it's actually not that bad. Now, how much is the total damage, though?
Let me think.
That's going to be the rough part.
It probably won't be as bad as you think because I didn't roll super high. So that'll only be 13 damage plus arm piercing.
Yeah, it has no armor, so it's just slide into the. Now, it is a thick ass hide, though, that you realize in particular because you're not hitting an appendage, and it's as you kind of bury the tip of the pick, you kind of swing forward and bury it in kind of its underside of its mouth. You do damage, and you did say 15, right?
13.
13? Okay. We do the math on this. All right, there it is. As you dig into it, you actually open up a tear in its underside, and it begins to bleed. Very thick blood. It's not like a gushing wound, but it is actively bleeding, mechanically speaking, as you tear into it. And it is hovering over the top of you. And that is the end of your turn, Marius. Which brings me to Seamus McCready. It is your turn. As you see, the scouts are taken by surprise, and they're kind of stock still as they're kind of looking over their shoulder. And you hear the cries of Marius and Bragadine, the cries of the men behind you, and you see the creature to your left moving quickly in your direction. The tentacles not too far, as this bog octopus is making its presence known. What would you like to do?
Now that the body has surfaced, I can see an eyeball, maybe?
Okay. Now, are you going to be taking a shot at the one that they're attacking, or the one that's heading towards you? Because they are two different creatures.
The one that was heading towards me, I believe that was the one on
Yes.
the left.
And yes, I will say, as far as a shot's concerned, yes, its head is beginning to poke out. So you can kind of see one big glossy eye. And I will say the eye is probably a few feet in diameter. Probably 4 or 5 feet in diameter. This thing's
that's
gigantic.
That's big enough to shoot. I'm going to shoot it in the eye.
Okay, go ahead and
Shot.
give me an attack roll on this.
All right, bro. It's the thunder, so it's probably going to hit.
I would assume so. Are you going to aim with this?
Because I am not going to aim.
All right.
Just in case I need to move out of the way of something. It's a 5, bro. It's 5.
Okay.
Out of 87.
All right, and you called a headshot, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dead-eye shot. I can choose where to hit.
Okay. All right. So this would be a headshot. If you would have got a critical, you might have got the eye, but you get like the head / body, because it's kind of one thing.
Yeah, it's big.
How much damage is that from you?
That's a big girl. 18. 23.
23. All right, let me reduce it because of the it has a thick hide. I will tell you that it's not armor. it's just meat. So 23. You do the math. Okay. All right. So that is reduced to. Call it. Yep, that's it. The boom of the thunder resounds out, and you kind of catch it above the eye, and you hear kind of a screech, and it reverberates the trees around as you tear into it. You would have heard the same thing as well, Marius, when you really dug in with the pick, and it keeps coming uninhindered. There's a massive hole that you open up above its eye that probably would have killed a man, but this creature is no man. Would you like to do anything else, Seamus?
I will use, if it even costs me any movement, to kind of like take pseudo cover next to a tree if I have a tree. Yeah,
I'll give you a tree. You kind of move to kind of put your back against the tree. All right. Yeah, we'll give you that.
And just prep myself for a reload on the next turn.
It is now the creature's turn, as they rolled just below Seamus. And very fitting, the one that attacked Seamus will go first here, as it moves forward, thrashing. Seamus, you kind of peek out to the side of the tree. Okay. Several tentacles. And this thing has more than 8 tentacles, just so you know. There are quite a few. several of them that are pulling and writhing. Some of them begin to snake around, and these things are gargantuan. And Seamus, you see as 3 tentacles rush forward and wrap around the 3 scouts as they are caught by surprise, and they are lifted off their feet, writhing around. Seamus, give me a dodge roll.
See you later, scouts. It's a 28 out of 52.
All right, Seamus, and you get a plus 20 for your cover you're behind, but you don't need it because the tentacle wraps right above your head on the tree, and you hear a sickening snap as the tree is bent in half. It doesn't fall on top of you, but you get the idea that it was aiming for you and it missed, perhaps because it's got a little bit of blood trickling inside. But you do hear the men screaming, the other high elf scouts screaming as they are being thrown around in the air right now. One of them looks like he's being pulled towards a gaping maw of teeth and death. That is that. So the one that's fighting Bragadine and Marius. Marius, I need you to make me 2 dodge rolls.
Okay. First one is a 3 out of 80.
Okay. Marius?
Yep.
First one misses. Damn it. Go ahead and roll your next one.
Okay, I was about to say, should I roll another one, or are we doing something else? All right. Second one is a 24 out of 90.
Okay. Marius? First one slashes over the top of you. You kind of splashes into the muck around you. You kind of instinctively kind of pull away. However, one rides in behind you with a critical. Critical hits.
Eric. Hit me, bro.
You can choose to shed the armor to avoid the critical injury. It will be wrapping around. Let me see where it's actually going to wrap around. This would be your... Come on. I always lose it right in the middle of combat. There we go. Actually, it's going to be your torso. So your body.
Torso. Okay.
Would you like to shed some armor to avoid the critical
I'm going to shed off a piece of...
All right.
Yeah, my plate armor falls off at this point.
Okay, the plate armor is broken as it crunches around you, shielding you from the worst. However, you are going to take 14 wounds that you can reduce with your remaining armor and toughness.
Okay.
But you're grappled. And a opposed strength test, which is going to be interesting, will need to be made to break out of this grasp. As it
are my arms grappled too?
I'll say that it wrapped around your torso, so not your arms, just kind of underneath. Okay. And it's funny because you're right in front of its face, so it's pushing you into its mouth. It, however, cannot eat you this turn. Next turn. Maybe so. However, Bragadine, I need you to make me 2 dodge rolls.
All right. We're going to use the fortune point.
Yes, use them. Use them all.
And I'm glad we did because we got, I don't know if it'll success or not, but it was a 14 out of 28.
Okay.
First dodge.
Yeah, your first dodge is good. You actually do manage to kind of thump it aside. You kind of roll into the water. Let's roll your second.
I rolled a 1 again.
Okay. Let's put it like this.
It was like the Matrix or something like that.
What is your what are you rolling out of? How big is your dodge currently?
It was 28.
28. So plus 10 for the first dodge, so 38.
Mhm.
3 levels of success.
I had another momentum from that attack, so it would have been 48.
Okay, so we'll call it 4 levels of success. I got a critical. Didn't roll as low of a number, but I have more success levels. So this is going to wrap around you at this point. No critical hit, however. And it is going to wrap around your right arm, which ironically is your sword arm that you slashed at it with. You're going to take 13 wounds that you can negate with armor and your toughness.
Okay.
And you are also grappled. Your right arm is grappled, and you are lifted off of your feet, Bragadine, about 10 feet in the air. And you're currently writhing around.
What a waste of a one.
I know. I'm sorry. It happens to the best of us.
All right.
And that is the end of your turn. Well, its turn. Some more happens in the background. However, it is now finally the next round. And at the top of the round, we have Bragadine. You are currently grappled. Your sword arm and the tender loving care of this giant bog creature, this octopus-like appendage. What would you like to do?
So I'm dangling by my right arm.
Yes, and it hurts. It doesn't feel good.
How would I be able to... I don't want to drop my shield.
Are you trying to... Now, here's what you can do. I'll give you some options here.
Okay. All right.
It's normally a strength check to break out of a grapple. However, if you spend resolve, you can negate one grapple, because it is technically it's a condition in this. So you can force yourself out of the entangled condition. Okay. As you do that, you will fall 10 feet.
Okay.
And you immediately kind of you basically kind of slither your arm as it's kind of trying to pull you, and you fall and you splash into the water.
Muck.
You will take 3 wounds, which you can negate with all that. So you take a minimum of 1 wound from hitting the ground from that height. And that is that. What would you like to do now?
Am I prone then, like sitting down?
You don't need to be prone. It doesn't matter. Even if you are prone, you could stand up and easily get to the creature at this point. It's moved up significantly.
I'm gonna try and hack it again. I mean, we're fighting this monster.
Okay. Do you want to try to move where Marius is? Perhaps the appendage holding Marius, or were you just slashing at anything nearby?
Actually, yeah, I want to move closer to Marius and try to help free him by attacking that specific thing.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an attack roll. Now, you got hit, so you're -1 momentum.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. I rolled a 77, but with my momentum, I'm 86. So I rolled a critical. Crits all night, baby. 77 under 86. Oh, did you roll a critical too again?
No, definitely not. Roll me a D100.
All right. Come on, 100. 52.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay. So, how much damage is that, Bragadine?
So that's 1 level success. 6, 10.
10 wounds. Let's see. We do this. All right. Bragadine, you slash into the tentacle, kind of writhing, about to push Marius into the maw of this creature. And as you do, you cut in and you feel it kind of go limp. And as it does, it releases Marius completely. Marius, you kind of fall into the sloshing kind of water. And the creature pulls up and screeches in all of your faces. The breath is fetid and disgusting. And as it does, it begins to move away from both of you quickly, trying to escape as its tentacles are writhing behind it, and it is attempting to move away. Now, it can't move yet, but you can tell that that's what it is doing. Would you like to do anything else, Bracketine?
Marius, are you all right? Get up. Let's finish this beast. Little overconfidence there.
All right. And Marius, it is your turn.
Is it still? It's still within range, right? I guess.
Yes, it can't move yet, but you can tell that it is going to.
Then I will try to put a pick in the body again if I can.
All right. Go ahead and give me an attack roll. Sure.
That would be 46 out of 80.
All right. Yeah, its dodge is abysmal. So, yeah, no, you definitely win on that one. So how much damage is that?
That is 19 plus armor piercing.
19.
Yeah, no, sorry, 19.
All right. It's reduced to that. You dig in once again to the kind of the meaty. Well, it would have closed its mouth by now. Kind of where the nose should be if it had a nose. You kind of plant the pick in the center, and the creature's wiggling free. It looks severely wounded, but it is still very much alive. As you kind of pull your pick free from its thick hide, and yeah, would you like to do anything else, Marius?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably just kind of waiting. Waiting. Yeah, just waiting.
You hear behind you, though none of you can see because you're preoccupied, you hear a booming chant resound out. And bolts of lightning descend from the sky. And the creature right in front of you, a bolt pierces straight through its eye, and its smoking whole explosion showers Bragadine and Marius with bits of molten eyeball as it is boiled in its socket. The creature doesn't even cry out. There's this resounding boom, and there's a massive gaping hole in its body, and it completely goes limp. Likewise, Seamus, you see... Yep. Oh, yeah. You see two bolts pierce through the top of the creature holding the scouts. As it... And this one, while it doesn't appear to be fatal, the creature looks severely wounded as it lashes out. Here and there, the scout's still in its grasp, but it looks very, very hurt. You hear more crashes of lightning in the distance, and all of you have 4 deafened conditions. Dang. So you cannot hear anything right now as you are in the presence of literal shock and awe. As the resounding boom. So that brings us to Seamus McCready. It is your turn.
Do the deafened conditions hinder my reload?
They do not. You just can't hear right now.
I'm going to attempt to reload.
Okay, go ahead and give me a ballistic skill test.
I have to re-roll that because that was a 99.
Nah, take it. Take it.
I got a 31.
Okay.
Where'd that go? I lost it.
How many success levels?
Is it my Thunderer skill or just straight ballistic?
It's your Thunderer skill. So black powder plus that. And you do have a I think you have 2 points of momentum, actually.
Yeah, I crushed it.
Yeah. So
31 out of 107.
Okay, yeah, you easily are able to kind of very calmly, despite the shock that just resounded through you, you're able to pack new powder into the Thunderer, and it's ready to go. However, that was your action. If you would have had a critical on it, I would have let you fire it this round. But for now, you are reloaded. Would you like to move anywhere?
If my tree is still standing, I feel pretty safe behind my tree.
Yeah, it's about your height, so you feel confident. You're still behind it. It probably hasn't noticed you again after what just happened.
Yeah, it's preoccupied. So
yeah, it is very much preoccupied, as it is now its turn, and it is going to flee with all haste as this encounter turned into a full rout within just 3 rounds, well, 2 rounds really. As the creature is backpedaling as fast as it can, and as it does, the scouts are coming with it. It's not letting go. It's retreating, and it moves fast. It moves freakishly fast in this in this swamp. It's covering significant distance because it even made its athletics test on this. So it moves 120 feet in the opposite direction of you guys, quick as hell. And you hear the men screaming as they're being pulled away. Behind you, you hear likewise cries of other things happening. And that is that. So that brings us to the top of the round. All of you lose 1 deafen condition, so you're down to 3 now. Yippee. And Bragdine, what would you like to do?
So it was the one that Seamus blasted in the face that fled. The one that Marius and I have been tangling with
Is dead.
probably about to flee. Okay.
However, Bragdine, you can't hear shit, so you don't know that the creature that's fighting Seamus is leaving because you can hear nothing right now.
Okay.
Yes, so all you know is that this thing is dead and your ears are ringing, like a literal explosion went off right in front of you.
Can I do a visual perception check around me to see if there's any other, what else is going on, where else I might be needed?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception test.
Okay. 33! Alright, so 33 out of 74.
Okay. With that, you kind of scrape the muck out of your eyes and kind of slop it to the side as you're breathing heavily now. There is the smell of ozone and burnt flesh nearby. It's horrid. And you kind of glance around and you see Master Teclis behind you with his arms stretched towards the sky, and his eyes are a solid white with electricity bouncing off of the eyes and to his fingertips and bouncing back and forth. You also would see the creature fleeing from Seamus. You do see Seamus as well. And with that much of a perception test, you would see that there are 3 more creatures that were assaulting your band, and it looks like all of them are in flight. But the 3 behind you each have a few soldiers in their possession as they are moving very, very quickly away.
None of them, do any of them have the sisters?
No, the sisters were not taken. They are by Teclis currently, kind of cowering.
I will, I guess, kind of move up towards Seamus, and I can't hear anything, of course, but maybe I try and shout at him. What? We have to chase them. We must free those men. And I assume, yeah. Just kind of move up near Seamus.
Okay.
Or whatever direction I see most of the monsters going, the octopuses going.
Yeah,
in.
they're all going in opposite directions. They're all just going. And they're like wild. They're like wild beasts. They're not super intelligent. They're just acting
they're
on.
not like pack animals. All right.
Yeah, no. They just, this is their home turf, and apparently you walked into their feeding ground, and they're just kind of scattering right now. So.
All right, in that case, I'm really just going to kind of stay right there and just try and shake it off.
Do you want to shout out to Seamus?
Yeah, I'm gonna just shout at him to Seamus, are you okay? Looks like you did a great job there.
Okay. Is that going to be it for you? That you don't want to make a roll or anything?
Can I do an endurance check to try and shake off a deafening condition?
Unfortunately, let me make sure. I think that these can only be removed. Nope. You have to. It just takes time for deafened conditions to go away. You can use resolve.
Nope.
Okay.
I've been burning those. I got to save that last one just in case.
Okay. All right.
No, if combat's over, I'm going to pretty much stay where I'm at.
Oh, combat's not over. Combat's not over until the end of the round, at least. We'll see.
Well, I'm going to basically kind of head to where the closest one that's heading up that I can see that it's got some body that it's carrying something with it.
Okay.
So it's like the one that Seamus shot, I'll go after that one.
Okay. You start moving in that direction, kind of slogging. All right. So that will bring us to Marius Wolf. What would you like to do?
Marius would probably turn around, no pun intended, shocked or awestruck.
Definitely.
Good one.
Thanks, bro. With the spell, we haven't seen too much magic. In general.
You have not.
It's a few times. Besides divine magic, mainly. And usually not on our side, So just kind of turn around and look and just trying to see where Seamus was and if where I could be needed, and if there's a bog monster that looks close enough to run to, I would try to run to.
Yeah.
If I don't think I can make it, then I would head towards the sisters.
Yeah, and that's probably your best bet at this point, because you can tell, Marius, with how fast it's moving, you're not going to catch it. It's fleeing. It's fleeing like a wounded animal. All of them are, in fact. So
okay.
So yes, it is moving.
Question: did he hit all of the bog monsters with lightning, or just those two?
As far as you can tell, he hit those two. You can't tell if he hit the other ones. Now they all screamed very loudly, but
I was deaf.
Yeah, so. You're deaf, so who knows? Yeah. Without being able to see, you're not sure.
Yeah, Marius probably run towards the sisters though and just make sure they're okay.
Yeah, and they're kind of huddled down back behind Teclis, who, despite his almost frail appearance, is very large and powerful right now. Yeah. And yeah, as you move over there, what brings us to Seamus McCready. Would you like to do anything?
Yes.
Okay.
The one that was fleeing with the two elves.
Yes, it has three in its clutches.
3 elves. I believe you said it was within 200 feet.
It is within 200 feet.
So I will take a aim shot
at
one of the arms, hoping that I can at least blow the arm off and maybe free an elf.
Okay. Give me an attack roll. Let's see how much damage you do, Seamus.
Whoever the lucky one is. All right. It's a 46, and I have 2 momentum, so it's a 46 out of 127.
Now, the question is, Seamus, do you do more than 18 wounds of damage.
Yes.
Then how would you like to do this, Seamus? As you defeat the creature. You kill it.
Oh.
Seamus is the man.
I reload it. I back to the tree. I reload it, and I turn around, kind of using the tree as a support. Get it nice in my sights, and I'm aiming for the tentacle to try to free an elf. If it happens to kill the creature, that's fantastic. I imagine the tentacle just explodes, and the elf is still wrapped up in it, and he falls into the water or whatever.
Yeah.
Creature, sinks into the water below.
Yeah.
If the other elves escape, that's their prerogative.
Yeah, as this happens, one of the scouts, it boom, and the tentacle explodes out, and you're aiming real low, almost towards the base, and it just shears off from the main body, and the scout kind of free falls about 15 or 20 feet down to the ground. He probably gets hurt a little bit, but he'll live. He's an elf after all. However, the shot continues through and hits the main body, and you see a massive hole open up as the creature, though you can't hear it because you're also deafened severely, as it, and then it comes to a complete halt. It just kind of grinds into the ground, into the muck, slides, and then stops and begins to somewhat sink. And as this happens, the other two are kind of thrown from its grasp. And you have saved all of the elven scouts. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
That's good.
So, yes. With that, we are officially out of combat now. So, as the water begins to settle, all of your deafened conditions are eventually removed. You can all hear, once again, Teclis is kind of moved away as he sees all of you have recovered and the creatures are dead nearby. The other ones did flee. And it looks like a few of the elven column is missing. A couple of them are dead on the ground, smashed. But for the most part, with how quickly you guys dealt with the threat, they look relatively intact. This is a pretty strong fighting force. The captain comes up to Teclis and they begin speaking. And they begin to form up once again. All of you kind of recoup yourselves. And Teclis calls out. And within a few minutes, the scouts arrive. They look hurt, but they arrive nonetheless, and they're actually bandaging their own wounds as they move forward. And each of them come up to you, Seamus, and kind of nod their head. They don't say anything. They don't move to shake your hand or anything like that. They just kind of give you a nod as they walk past. A little bit of recognition.
As I slam another bullet into the chamber,
Exactly. You're still reloading yet again. But what would you guys like to do in this moment while we are recouping ourselves?
I mean, I took no damage, so I would, I guess,
So
make
you're
my
good to
way
go.
back to the others.
Yeah. Marius and Bracketing, what would you guys like to do? Seamus is kind of turning back to you, kind of taking stock.
Just kind of using my hand to play in the mud and muck off me, and I sheathe my sword and just kind of, I guess I'm inspecting just how hurt I am to see, just I can tell I'm a little beat up, but just, and then I just go over to the sisters and, oh, my ladies, are you all right? It was wise of you to go and stand by the Master Elf.
Yes, he's quite powerful. And Teclis he's already moved away at this point. He's already taking stock of his troops. But they Alda, the younger one, kind of moves up to you, Bragadine. You've been hurt. Allow me. And you will heal for 6 wounds,
Okay.
Bragadine.
Oh, sweet lady, thank you. Your blessings are such a boon to me.
It is it's the least I can do. Marius, as you've kind of walked up, you're missing a piece of your armor. Lady Hema, kind of you approach. Oh, Master Wolf, you've been hurt. And you, Marius. Oh man, she must have a blush in her cheek as well. You heal for 12 wounds, which is significant on a heal roll. That I doubt you
need that much, but I'll definitely take it.
So you feel, and you feel another tingle this time, and a blush comes over Sister Hema's face now, as she kind of reddens. Oh,
thank you.
Oh yeah,
mercy.
Of course. Perhaps a little more, perhaps like some of the chiseled abdominals have kind of been exposed a little bit. Oh,
you know, I'm all wet from the water.
Wet,
you know?
soapy.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Remember those wedding vows, man.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
right. It's true. Married man.
And she kind of backs away. Teclis once again kind of reapproaches. The scout's taking up position. And Seamus, I need you to make me another tracking roll to move forward. As a big thing just happened right now. And you probably don't want to stay here very long.
Heck no. Alright. Oh, I rolled a 94, so I re-rolled it, and I got a 33.
Okay, critical success. All right, so the DC was going to be a lot harder, with you guys having succumbed to the massive attack, but you do manage to pick up the trail, despite this bog and everything else, relatively easily, Seamus. And all of you travel. Now, I will say this: are you guys moving? Are you guys just moving with all due speed? Are you moving with stealth? How fast does the party wish to go?
I would probably leave that up to Seamus and the scouts, I guess. As fast as they are moving, we'll
So
try to keep up. You know.
So Seamus,
Yep.
It's going to be up to you. Do you move with haste, or do you move with caution?
We'll do caution.
Okay. So everybody, go ahead and make me stealth rolls.
Okay.
I will say this, for reasons unbeknownst to everyone, you get a plus 20 to this roll.
Oh, even better. I got a 6 out of 62.
Okay, you're good. Marius?
Marius rolled a 47 out of 84.
Okay. And Bragadine?
Rolled a 79 out of a 51.
Would you like to re-roll that?
Before it gets snatched up.
Yeah, I may as well. Let's use that last fortune point. Ah, cool. I rolled a 41 out of 51.
Okay. All right. It was 50-50. You made it. With those rolls, you guys begin to move forward cautiously. It takes a little more time, but the scouts also look reticent to move quickly. They kind of fall in the line beside you. Hush kind of overtakes the column. Master Teclis is being quiet, and not only is he being quiet, all of you begin to notice that as you're walking through the water, you don't hear sloshing of your feet. and it feels like the shadows are kind of clinging to your persons. You don't feel anything weird. It's just kind of strange, unusual. You can see fine.
Trace, bro?
I passed out a trace, bro.
He has... You get the idea that magic might be afoot. So, as he is moving with you. Yes. And several hours pass on this trail, Seamus. And you come across, with that stealth roll, you do come across two more what look to be these kind of octopus feeding grounds. But nothing happens. You're not pursued. And there is no more need to roll me another initiative. Thank God. As you move and you manage to get to the edge of this bog, the edge of this swamp. And it's starting to get late. Not necessarily camping time, but it could be, if you'd like. As you reach the edge and there's more marsh up ahead and a more firm trail that you can easily follow, Seamus. It is up to you guys what you would like to do at this point. Are we continuing forward, or are we attempting to bed down?
What time of day was it? Can we tell?
It's like afternoon. It's hard to tell because of the overcast, but it would be in the afternoon.
Braggadon is basically going to kind of take his cue from the sisters. He's just made to see if they start to look winded and stuff and exhausted. He's going to suggest that. Otherwise, he's going to keep marching.
Okay. And Marius, what is your vote?
As long as we aren't, as long as the column isn't wary or tired.
No. Oh, definitely not.
Then I would assume we would be moving forward until at least dusk.
You get the idea as you're moving that the elves are not going to wear. You are going to wear out before they do. You can just tell with how they move.
Mary's Wolf is a physical specimen.
You are a physical specimen.
Seamus and Braggedy.
You guys are. They're also battle-hardened elves. I'm just throwing it out there. They have an agility, a lithe grace that surpasses human capability.
Maris would carry the sisters if need be. Yeah, at least one.
They would probably be your slowest, but they do not need to be carried. I mean, I know you want to show off in front of everyone. You want to show Teclis how big you are.
Teclis,
you know, if you want to, you can, but you don't need to.
Check out the thunder in my arms.
Your wife will love to feed it.
There comes the old cock block. Here it goes, throwing it out there. So I'm assuming you guys are moving forward then.
Yeah, I mean, Seamus wouldn't stop unless someone told him to stop.
Okay.
Since he's in the front.
And you're basically on the hunt. You've got a scent, Seamus, and you're moving forward. Exactly. And it's strange, Seamus, because you're starting to cover more and more ground, and you make it to there's almost like an incline, a hill that you're coming upon, and you make it to the top of said hill, and you can see down into a ravine below, and off very far in the distance you see what might be people, some kind of roving band. It's far away, but you see something moving. A few hills past the one you're on. Even in the very dim, fog-shrouded light. They might be a couple hours away, maybe. They don't have much ground on you. You can push if you'd like.
Seamus will definitely be pushing.
Okay. You begin to push forward. The scouts easily spot it, which is why I kind of pointed it out to you, because they have those
I expect them to.
They have those elven eyes. So,
What I see?
exactly. So, you would need to roll for this because they can easily point out what's happening. And all of you begin to move forward, following Seamus's lead. A few more hours passed, and it is getting late. If you're going to move any further, you will need an endurance check. However, Seamus, you and the scouts approach a hill top, and the scouts have pushed ahead of you at this point. They're faster than you. And now that you've seen something, they don't need you to necessarily track.
Mm-hmm.
And as you begin to approach behind them, Seamus, they kind of motion their fingers at their lips, and they motion like a flat. And you see that they're all on their bellies.
Ooh. I take the hints. I go prone.
And you kind of crawl up to where they're at. And as you do, you look down below, and there's another ravine. And you see that a camp has been made. There are flickering flames down below. A large pyre has been built. You see that there are tents that have been kind of lashed. There is actually what is strange is some of the tracks you were following looked bizarre. And there appears to be some kind of machine that is down below. You see two of them. They look to be about the size of a wagon. They're metallic, black, like a black kind of metal, similar to the armor the Dowies wear. There is almost like steam or perhaps coal fire kind of smoking out of the tops of some of them. They have a strange shape. They appear to be quadrupedal. And the prints that they're making somewhat look like feet. It's kind of hard to explain. But the thing looks like it has a head and a mouth. Who knows what this demon engines could be. But you do see a glow emanating from underneath them, and you can definitely see armored, stout, short figures making camp. A banner is raised above one main tent, and it looks like there is singing and laughter and feasting that is being made. What would you like to do, Seamus?
Taking that all in, I would try to see if I can get, since I don't speak Elvish, get a cue from the elves if they are going to stay there or if they're going to report back to Teclis.
They kind of essentially two of them stay, and the third kind of peels back and begins moving back down the hill towards the rest of the column that's marching relatively quietly.
Yeah, I would move with that third one back towards the column.
Okay, you begin to move back. As he makes it along before you and is talking to Teclis, Marius, and Bragadine. And you, Marius, you would hear the word stunted. That would be about the only word you'd pick up out of this conversation. But Teclis looks like he's beginning to somewhat kind of drag ass. He doesn't look as tall and full of power as he did before. And you can see that he's kind of... He's not breathing heavy, but he's breathing like the rest of the humans are breathing. And you notice that all the elves have barely broken a sweat. And he kind of nods. And at this point, Seamus, I'm assuming you make your way here as well. And it looks like Teclis is seeking counsel with all of you. And he brings forth his captain. I'm assuming you relay to the rest of the party, Seamus?
Yeah, the demon engine and the fires, and there's, the dwarves are down there. Looks like they're building the camp, all that stuff.
Yeah. And Teclis will begin to, well, actually his, the captain, Bel Cadaris will state, Master Teclis, now is the time. We can be rid of this place. Be done. I know you seek a quick end to this, but we should take caution. These are not typical dwarves. These are stunted folk of a different ilk, twisted and warped by the dark gods. You know not what could be down there. These infernal machines, he mentions, they could be more deadly than you realize, and my power is waning currently. I used much of it to get us to where we're at. For you to attack now, yes, would be wise, but you would be doing so without much of my aid. However, I am not a man of necessarily war, and I will take counsel of everyone's opinions here. You have proven yourselves justly.
Go ahead, James.
I say we catch them now while they're not expecting it. You put your archers and myself up in these hills. You send your soldiers down into the fray.
Could easily be done. Or we could just slip in, kill this man you speak of, and be done with it.
My only concern is those machines. We fought only one in Kirkzorn, and if you two remember, and did not fare well against Malefax.
There was also just the three of us that time.
True. I have a feeling we might need Teclis's power to even stand a chance against those things.
GM question. Does Braggedy and Marius, have they... I mean, I assume the conversation between Teclis and his captain was in Elvish.
Yes, but now that you're being addressed, and Seamus did tell you about everything he saw, which would have been the same.
Okay.
And when Teclis is speaking, it's all in Reichspiel, and when the captain is addressing now, it is in his broken Reichspiel because he's been told to be polite. So yes.
I know not of his magic, aside from what little we've already seen, but I do know that the swift strike with surprise often wins the battle before it starts. Granted, we are not mounted knights, but still, I too fear those machines, and I wonder if perhaps attacking with them on ready would be the best choice.
How long will I have to sit around and wait for this?
If it's a vote, Marius is voting. Wait. That's Marius's vote. If the other two want to go, we'll go.
Seamus?
Seamus is voting to attack.
Okay. And Bragadine?
I think Bragadine, to play Bragadine properly, he would go to attack too.
Okay. As all of your statements are taken within with a bit of reticence from Teclis, but the captain eventually wins the day, and a move to attack is motioned forward.
Before they break, Marius is gonna sit there and talk to Master Teclis and the captain there, and just inform them we are unique among our own people as well. You may see us do things that could disturb you. Know that we have our faculties.
And Teclis smirks at this. I have no doubt that you, Master Wolf, have some modicum of control. It is that one. He points, kind of nods towards Seamus, that I doubt will keep his faculties.
Seamus says nothing.
Sisters, are the sisters going to take part in this fight?
Hell yeah, bro! They're on the front line. They're going in first.
Do you ask that? Do you?
I would ask.
Okay,
the sisters.
I would not recommend that the good sisters here join you in the fray, but
perhaps they could stay at least as far away with the archers or
yes, I will.
people at range.
I will keep them company here atop the hill, overlooking the valley.
Thank you, Teclis.
Of course. Be careful. You know not what's in those tents. Chaos is afoot. Who knows what could be lurking?
Marius is gonna... I told you this was gonna get weird. And I'm gonna start walking over, I guess, towards the where we're gonna attack from.
Mm-hmm.
And forever how long it takes. I don't know how far distance to the other scouts or whatever.
Yeah.
But as he goes, he's gonna be slowly declothing.
Of course he is.
Putting stuff into his bag.
The sisters are like, yeah, as your rippling flesh is beginning to be exposed. Right as you get to the edge of the hill, the trousers drop, and there's just like a silhouette of that chiseled ass just in the dimming light as a glorious backshot, if you will.
A moon.
A full moon.
Brightened by a
Full moon.
A full moon. As you unclothe,
behavior from Marius.
it is odd behavior. Seamus's eyes probably a little like, huh? Oddly enough, the elves look at you quizzically, but they don't appear to be shied away by your nakedness. This is
he's a fool.
I mean, this is like a Sunday afternoon thing for them.
I guess so. They run around naked all the time.
Yeah, it's strangely enough, unlike human culture, they appear to not be as ashamed as of their nakedness.
Yeah.
But as you begin to move upwards,
I'll hand my my satchel to Hema.
I'm assuming you do this before you've gone up and declothed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm declothing, but I want to have all my stuff in my pack. So
of course. Oh, so you want to collect all of your stuff in the pack, then hand it to her with your
yes,
with your schlong hanging out.
Yes, I'm still gonna pick. But
You begin walking up to the lady, and she kind of and like diverts her eyes and is like covering them, bright red, both of them, kind of trying to look away. Master Marius? Oh yeah, she's peeking. Those there's some split in those hands. Master Wolf, this is most unusual. I must say I've had vivid fantasies of this. No, she doesn't say that. But she does.
whoa!
But she you can tell that she's very much very very shy by what's happening on. Teclis is just kind of like quizzically looking at you as this naked man comes walking up to him and these ladies.
Hands the bag to her.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to think less of me, sisters. And I just hand her the bag and walk away.
Oh, it's hard to think less.
Oh.
As you walk off back towards the hill, your chiseled body just rippling.
On my man bun.
You let it down. Oh man,
let it down.
You let down the man bun. This is like a full like T2, T1 moment.
I'm picturing
like naked Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Terminator 2, Terminator 1.
Chiseled man, just naked, walking stoically.
Give me your clothes.
Yes. As you approach the top of the hill, all of you are in just. It's just bizarre. It's a strange behavior from Marius Wolf. As this happens, you are given an option. Seamus, you're kind of taking the lead on this. Battle plans.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have archers at your disposal. The archers also consist of the scouts. They have longbows. Easily can cover a long range here. You have choices to you can either have them stay as archers in the hills, or you could have them infiltrate the camp quietly.
Ooh.
You also have plenty of spearmen at your disposal as well. The captain is technically in charge of the troops, but you've been given some modicum of pull here on how this attack is going to take place, which can be used as just shock and awe troops, or they could stealthily move up as well. They are troops after all. Now, infiltrating a camp would be difficult for the spearmen, but possible if you want to try that. The captain will be moving with the spearmen, however, no matter what you choose. Teclis is up towards the top of the hill, out of view, along with the sisters, and any wounded elves that yet still live are also up there with him. So, how would you guys like to assault this Dowie camp?
Well, I guess I've never known a man who goes into a fight with his cock swinging about. But I was thinking we place the archers as best as we can in a semicircle around this camp, and we send those spearmen in there.
Sounds like a plan. Having the archers and you at range, and riding myself, the spearmen. We'll try to encircle as best we can.
Well, I wonder if perhaps... I don't know why you don't have your clothes on, Marius, but I actually do think that with the missile troops at range and just picking off good targets, then I would like to lead the spearmen in a direct shock attack in the front. But if we had some troops to take advantage of the distraction of the primary attack and hit the flank, I don't know if they're extra troops, or perhaps, Marius, maybe you have a special plan that you want to do, but I do think a two-pronged attack would be most advantageous in this.
I should be able to cover a fair amount of distance. I can move around, perhaps with... Well, I can do it by myself, perhaps. But I can attack from a different angle.
I think that would be wise. If you can even conceal yourself a while for the first attack, to try, so that we may draw their attention.
Marius will... are all the troops close to us?
They're not, but the captain is nearby, and he's the one who's going to be issuing orders.
Did he ever give us his name? Did he...
You know his name because Teclis
Okay.
told you.
Del Shinar.
No, it's not Belshazzar,
Bel-
you bastard. Bel Cadaverus.
Something.
Cadarvis.
Del.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belshazzar, different high elf, dead a long time ago.
Herr Bel Cadarvis, if you would not mind telling your troops, if they see a large white wolf, not to shoot or stab it.
Give me a charm roll, Marius.
Alright. Does he find me attractive?
He's an elf, of course he does.
Hell yeah, brother! Oh shit. I rolled a 38 out of 53.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's with
eight levels of
that
success.
with that 8 levels, it's you easily. Now I will say, he had 6 levels of success on his cool test, but 8 levels, yeah, easily.
I mean, I'm naked right now.
You're naked, in all your glory, and he kind of bites his lower lip for a second. He kind of. Perhaps it can be avoided. I'm assuming this has something to do with what Teclis mentioned. Some kind of abilities you are supposedly have.
Yes. Yes, Master Elf.
Very well. This attack you speak of, because you realize that
Wait.
he can hear all of you and understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your friends with the Axis, are they able to be stealthy when they need be?
Extremely. They are some of the best. They are huntsmen of a sort.
Perhaps they could accompany me.
Very well. And the 3 white lions are diverted to your charge, Marius. You all begin to take places. I'm going to need stealth rolls to get into placement before we move any further.
Alright, so Marius is hitting a flank with some lion people.
Yes, with some white lions.
Bragadine's taking the initial, probably the vanguard. With
Yes.
Going down the middle, bro.
He's going down the center, and then the archers and yourself are going to have to take up advantageous positions along the kind of hill of this this valley.
Cool. I got a 23
Okay.
out of if it's a normal stealth check, it's out of 42.
Yeah, it's going to be normal because you won't have many advantages for this. Okay. And Marius?
Another roll. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That's a 22 out of
Oh, critical success, you bastard.
46.
Doesn't matter.
Needs that too, bro. Yeah.
How about Bragadine?
Barely a success. 23 out of 31. Barely a success.
Okay. I will say this. All right. Your lack of dexterity is made up with the troops that you're with, Bragadine. However, the rest of you, I will say this, Marius, even with your critical success, you're moving quiet. You don't have anything on you.
Thank you.
Ironically,
I got my pick. That's all I got.
the white lions, these axemen who are wearing what looks like somewhat heavy armor, are just as quiet as you are, as they are moving with you. As you kind of move around to a flank, all of you set up position. And as the archers begin to draw their bows back, and Bragadine, you are standing shoulder to shoulder with the captain, and he notices it and takes a few steps forward to try to cement himself as the leader of these troops. Kind of looks back at you and sneers. That is where we're going to end tonight's episode of Rise of the Forsaken. So we will pick up with a siege of the camp.
Marius posing, right in front of the hill, naked.
Yeah, exactly. Naked, once again.
Yeah, picture, your hands are on your hips and your hair is
Exactly.
blowing in the wind. Like a
Hell yeah.
cape.
Hell yeah,
It's going to be great.
Glowing.
It's so glorious. It's so glorious. I wish I could have fan art of it. Just a naked Marius. It's great. On a hill. On a hilltop.
What you wish for, bro.
The full moon,
Full moon.
Exactly.
Full moon. Exactly.
Yeah. It's glorious.
Blushing sisters, like in the foreground, kind of. Regardless, though,
what was his wife's name?
Captain
Forgot
Biden.
about her.
his wife's name's Sarah.
Sarah?
She's nowhere to be seen.
Sarah?
Thought bubble of her. She was crying somewhere.
Sarah.
She gets to
Yeah.
see this every day,
Yeah, that's true. She does. Man. So, awesome game, guys. That was a hell of an episode. We're living on a bit more than a bit of a cliffhanger, but, it is what it is. Favorite moments of the night from the cast and crew. Let's start with old Marius Wolf.
Ooh, I don't know, bro. There's several moments, I like the bog octopuses, those are creepy, weird kind of monsters,
That they are.
Like those. Got to see Teclis cast a spell.
He did. He cast a few
Well,
spells.
Pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet.
It was pretty impressive. I don't know what spell enables him to strike down, 4 giant things at once, but it was impressive enough. So, probably that.
All right. How about old Seamus McCready? Favorite moments of the nights? Doobie?
Probably between, the Teclis spell, because all the spellcasters we've come across have, messed us up. So that was nice. And also the fact that High Elves, accepted us into a battle strategy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you did prove yourselves. So I will say, you proved yourself well in the octopus fight. So how
High Elves
about
are no
old...
joke when it comes to combat.
No, definitely not. How about Mr. Galactic? Favorite moments of the night?
Oh man, I mean there was several. I definitely enjoyed the lightning strike spell. That was amazing. But without a doubt, it is the fact that we had a little mini conversation, debate, discourse over what to do, and Seamus and I decided in our bloodlust or glory seeking, we managed to convince the elves that we attack now.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And as far as a viewer decision for the next episode, I just have one question. To Zinch or not to Zinch? That is the question.
They're going to say Zeech, bro.
I don't think
We'll see. We'll see.
I can't wait to hear the description.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, guys. We might have some epic boss battles back to back. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows? The octopuses were just a warm up, just a little taste, just a
little sampler.
Yeah, just a little sampler platter. You gotta wait for the full corn dog to come in there.
Yeah, that was
was
the
your
appetizer.
favorite one, bro?
This is the entree.
Oh yeah, I forgot about my favorite moment. I definitely enjoyed, as you probably could have guessed by now, naked Marius ass just up there,
that's good.
just the moon beginning to come out and reflect off his own moon. That hair kind of wafting behind his head. It's glorious. I love it. I love it so much. I just love it that you're so desperate to save your armor that you decided to strip bare naked before the fight to make sure you don't lose any of it.
I'm saying good goals for that.
It is impressive. It's impressive. I will say, dedication it's impressive. So
Thank you.
We'll see how it goes.
I mean, it would have been cool if it ripped off too, but I mean,
it would.
I thought this scene was just as impactful.
Just as impactful.
So.
I completely agree. Completely agree. But as usual, guys, I've been Jumbo Thick. Thank you very much for watching. Do make sure to vote in the viewer decision down below, and just leave a comment in the comment section. Period. We enjoy reading them, and we enjoy hearing from all of you. This has been Rise of the Forsaken. Thank you very much for watching, and we are all hoping to see you in our next episode. Have a good day.